this way. Oh, pretty close. We are getting ready. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm trying to. Hey, think it'll work that quickly to get everything live here. I'm still setting up some stuff here. Man, it's hot here in Arkansas today. Ooh, this tracker's already sort of weathered. Nice. Perfect size. Oh. Still got about 10 minutes, but I'm glad everybody's coming on in early. Still trying to choose what I know what to do. I know what the problem is. Table's got to go a little higher. There we go. Got a little small space to work. That much better. Everybody can see me if I sit. Oh, yes, look at that. Sweet. Get on the computer here. You can see the chat from here. Should be able to see on both. Hey, Cat Rail fan. Let's see, weathering freight car locomotive. Well, today we're going to be just an introduction to what I decided I'm going to do from now on. I had computer issues and my original computer crashed. We're using this older model of a laptop. And unfortunately, right now, it's hard to find the software that fits with an older. I mean, a, a movie software that's or editing software for this older computer. And I figured instead of working hours and hours on videos and having something up, I could do once a week live, and we could do different topics either on weathering locomotives or patchwork or working on certain scenery supplies, and as well as different techniques on weathering freight cars, locomotives, as well as um, patchwork and maybe weathering track. I have a couple of dioramas that I am building, so we could do a live build on how I'm going about the way I'm building the dioramas out of natural materials around the house. I did start the what do you call it? The diorama editing for different parts, and they all were lost. And when my computer crashed, unfortunately, and the editing software that I have now is not working properly on the computer, so I figured we could do stuff maybe 1 hour a week and work on it together. So, and I do have all the materials, so I can do it live and show you how to do it right then and there. And what's good about a live video, it's recorded, and then you can rewatch it if you want to learn what else we have done for today. So I think that's a cool idea. And plus, because of the pandemic and everything going on, it's I'm still taking clients, but everybody's still penny pitching, and I don't blame everybody. There's other priorities than weathering trains. So even though I am still taking clients, and everybody who still wants stuff done, they can still they can still ship me their equipment. I can still do the service for them. And but if not, at least in the meantime, I can weather my own trains and do some live videos as well. So let's see, what time is it? 2:59. We're gonna get started here. I'm just looking at, we got anybody coming in? All right. Oh, cool. I'm just waiting here, see if anybody else shows up, and we're gonna get about I would say get about a few more minutes. In the meantime, I could continue what I was doing here. Also, when I start layout building, it'll be nice to do some live operations as well. Okay, it's over here. Here it is. My nails. We're currently building stuff and gardening outside, so took a break in from the heat to do this for a little bit and back out to do it again. Okay, I think I'm going to I might adjust the camera just a little bit here. See what we can do. See if that works a little better. We're a bit closer. Oh, much better. My hair looked nice. Am I looking good? Beard's all fluffed up. All right. Okay, what else do I need from over here? Ah, it's over here. So let's double check here. I know we got 3 people watching. We're about to get started here in a minute. See, now I can see the chat on here. It's easy to see it. It's too far away. Okay, we're gonna get started. Wait, we're not gonna get started. I think. I really need this. Like this is a live test introduction to everything. We'll probably do something a little more legit next time. All right. So we got 3 people watching. Now we're on. It's 3:03 on my clock in Central Time. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Wednesday. And it is a beautiful day here in Evansville, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas region. I live right here in the Ozark Mountains. It is about 80-something degrees outside, and it's absolutely sticky out there. And but I'm glad everybody is out here today and hanging out with me. This is a live test introduction to Touch of the Brush Model Weathering live. So we're gonna have a good old time here in the next few, hopefully few weeks, few months. The reason why I decided to go live, and well, first my computer needs to be upgraded, and since it's too old, I wasn't able to do that. And then we have another computer where the software is a little too outdated for certain programs I usually use to edit videos with. And for the longest time, I have wanted to use YouTube Live and do live videos on building and weathering. And actually, when you see the live, how-to weathering videos that I have put up in the past couple of months, they're pretty much live. This may cut in editing some things here and there, and basically I've been very transparent on how I show the thought process and how I weather things for clients. And the cool part is that I learn as I go, like everybody else, and you see that live. And when I narrate, it's all impromptu. There's no script. I'm just going at it and watching what I do, and it's really fun. And I do enjoy doing that. Before the computer and before everything with the pandemic going on, I did start with a diorama build, and I did have the introduction. Fortunately, then the computer crashed on me, so all my videos were all gone. Well, actually, no, I lied. They're still. I still have them, but the issue is that I don't have the editing software right now. So I figured, well, let's do 1 hour live together, and I could build dioramas live. I could show you different tips and how-tos on different techniques for scenery work, how to use stuff around the household. Since everybody's pretty much self-quarantining, I hope, and everybody's safe and everybody's at home, there's stuff around the house as well as around the property. And if you want to go outside and just look around without going to a store, you can find natural material to use. So we'll do that as well. And I eventually will be building a layout. So we'll do a live video on maybe just train talk as well as model railroading talk. And maybe some process and how I go about building the train layout. So it would be fun to do certain things like that. I got something here. I need the drive shaft for afterband drive Friday. You know, I don't really even have any of that, unfortunately. I have F7As. I actually, everybody knows I love Alco units, and I've been collecting Alcos and upgrading and weathering. And I have one right here that I recently done. And I know it's kind of hard to see. I gotta like bend down, but we'll lower the camera a little bit. You can check it out here. Okay, This one here, I have pictures on Instagram. This is RS11. I also do have a U25B from Bowser. So I do collect a lot of Alcos. And I recently, in the past couple of months, I've been wanting to go maybe a little more modern. And I bought, before I got sick with my foot, a lot of people know what my issue is. What do you call it? I had an infection in my foot, went through a few surgeries, so back in October. But before that, I bought a Missouri Pacific GP38-2 that represents the locomotive in the movie End of the Line, which is right here. And this actually takes place in Arkansas. This movie came out in 1987. Even since I was a little child, I watched this movie constantly, absolutely loved it, and decided now to be modeling the Southland Railroad, which is a fictional railroad. They use old Mopac Missouri Pacific locomotives, and this is one that I am making from the movie itself. I will have pictures on Instagram and Facebook on it, and okay, up here there's a little beacon to where it hit the police car in the movie. I added the spark arresters on top and the numbers. I'm working on the number boards, and the locomotive will be done except for the Southland logo on the side, which is in the process of being made. Okay, so I have that locomotive, and right here we're going to build that scene, which is this scene here from the movie. I am sweating. It is hot in here. Okay. The train crashed through the train crashed through the police car. So I got a police car, and it was actually black and white, and I just painted it, spray painted it white, and I got it. Next thing is going to cut it in half, and look like the train broke through it. So basically, we're going to have the track here. Is the little diorama. Locomotive's going to be here. The car will be right here in half, and we'll have the road right here and some scenery work, very simple scenery work, because it is in Arkansas, and there weren't many trees in the photo that's right here. It's mostly tall weeds and tall grassy area. So what we're going to do is very simple with building something like this. I still have original, older. I think Midwest is where I got the cork road bed. Let me see if this works here. This is really live because I haven't used this glue forever. There we go. So what we're gonna do is, I think I have another one. Let's see. Aha. See if there's enough in here. Not like not being prepared, right? Let's see. Real rookie Canadian. What's going on, buddy? Hope everybody's doing well. If you live in Canada, hope Canada's doing well. No, it's crazy everywhere. Let's see here. See? See? At least with the camera, I'm allowed to cut that out. I'm not allowed this time. I'm not allowed to fall for that. Obviously. I got SC70 Ace, and that's Willie Scenic Cement's what you need. Yeah, man, that stuff works great too. Actually, liquid nails works really well. There you go, one line. Whoop, that's it. And get a cheap old brush. Okay, now, and money's going to be tight for everybody. What's going on right now? So use what you can. You don't have to use really expensive equipment. All right. There's our glue. Woodland Scenic Cement is excellent. I love that stuff. I really do. I'm a big scenery guy. If you see my older videos of my older O-scale layouts, you know, I did a lot of scenery how-tos, but I want to do some modern stuff. I do have that big diorama over there that's sitting up there that we're gonna build together as well. All right, so it's bouncing up. We got some old pins and nails will work. This is regular foam, like insulating foam, white stuff. Terrible for carving, but it's what do you call it? It's good for baseboards like this. I don't know if it expands or contracts. I wouldn't have trusted building it for a layout, but definitely it's good for dioramas. So basically, the end of the line, the movie, takes place in the 80s, which was current time at the time, in 1987, and it's about a little shop and a short line railroad called the Southland Railroad, and the company became a huge corporation out of Chicago, and headquarters were in Chicago. Decided to go into air freight, and of course, the railroad was about to be terminated, and everybody laid off or fired from their jobs. So two good old boys from Arkansas, Levon Helm, from the band called The Band, everybody, a lot of people know of, and Wolf and Brimley were the actors in the movie. The main characters, Hanny and Leo. They decided to go to Chicago. They stole one of this engine right here, number 2377, and they brought it to Chicago to talk to the president and the chairman of the board, and to try to get the jobs back. So I deciding to now model the Southland Railroad and have it run from Little Rock all the way to Van Buren, Arkansas, to interchange with the Union Pacific. That main line was the Van Buren sub, and today it is Union Pacific, but we're going to make it as the Missouri Pacific gave it to Southland Railroad because of the merger, or Union Pacific gave it to Southland Railroad. And we'll have my layout will be an L-shaped switching layout representing Russellville, Arkansas, which is really a cool place to watch trains. Virtual Railfan had a webcam there. If anybody likes Virtual Railfan, I think everybody here knows about Virtual Railfan. So you can watch UP trains in Russellville as well. I'm gonna break a little piece off. Okay, this is, you know, we're not building a layout here, so we could cheat a little bit. Bam. That's that. And we'll do other videos. We'll do some weathering videos. I'll pick a topic in the beginning of the week. And if anybody here can think of anything they want to learn, and if I could definitely do it, I'll definitely, you know, do a live video, help everybody out. This engine right here is a client of mine I'm still working on. He collects CSX, chassis, and seaboard, early CSX. So he wants me to do weather this engine for him. So okay, let's move this over here. Now, a quick tutorial on weathering track. Very, very simple. We'll do half and half. So here's a piece of Code 83 Atlas Flex Track. It's already been sort of bent. All the ties are already bent, and actually looks pretty realistic for a short line railroad. Very simple way to weather track. It's my garbage pail. Shoots and he scores. All right. We'll use camouflage paint, this particular kind, by Rust-Oleum. $4 probably. See how it looks on this side. Woo. That's it. Seriously, that's all it is. Now you can let it dry and scrape it off. A lot of people do that with a bright boy. Just I I recommend do not use a bright boy on your rails because it does scratch up the rails, and you have to have, I forgot, a cleaning solution to wipe off from there. So since it's still wet, this is like gold now with everything going on. I have a little towel here, a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Try to conserve as much now, you know, it's not normal times at the moment. If not, you can use probably a little Windex or a little water and just wipe it off. It's all good to go for the top of the rails. There's that. And this is not going to be powered, so I really don't care. But if I'm going to use a locomotive on here, I don't want them to get a little paint or dirt on the wheels, because the engine is DC, but I'm going to convert it to DCC and loc sound eventually. So we're gonna. I think I have one more of these here. So now the track is pretty weathered for what it is, and I think I'm going to move up the camera a little bit here so you can get a bird's eye view of what we're working on. So we're going to switch some gears here. All right, there we go. So here's your track. That looks pretty good. It's just about almost dry. It is really scorching in here because I closed the windows because we're working outside and doing some gardening and building stuff. And I snuck away from the family to do this. They're very supportive of me, and so I'm very fortunate. Okay, so now this is a good basic starter if you really want to weather the track. Now there are different kinds of things you can use to go a little further. I always prefer Anita's acrylic black paint, flat black paint. Everything's flat here. Okay, as well as all-purpose Anita's brown. Woohoo! That's how I make my wheels and stuff for a lot of these freight cars and locomotives, and I cannot find a freight car to save my life. Everything is still in boxes. Let's see here. What else are we going to use? Some powder. And don't forget, it's an old short line railroad. Track is all beat up. And I'm going to use here some dark rail brown, some weathered brown, and I mean some black we can use, but we really don't need some black at all. Or some dark rust maybe. We could do that too. But first, we're going to get a paintbrush. Okay. This has become more of a how-to than an introduction, isn't it? I like working, so it's fun. We're going to do some, we could try some burnt umber. We could use this right here because we're going to be scenery on it anyway. Just a little bit of that. You know, you want to give it some character. I mean, every few pieces of, every few ties, you could do one or two. Go on the sides here of the rail a little bit. And you get some on the edges, so it kind of represents a little bit of that rust on the. Probably it's hard to see, but you can see right here. Right here it is. I know it's on the phone, unfortunately. Again with my computer, we have a webcam. I'm going to see how it works here. Okay, get some of these ties going. And let's say you want something darker. A little bit of black. I don't want that much black, but nah, that's what I wanted to do. I also would like to maybe we could talk about rail fanning and railroad photography. I do photography as well. So you can use paints onto the track. I have painted and weathered code 100, which is black ties. What's good about code 83 is it's already brown, so you don't have to weather if you don't want to, or you can. But this is going to give a little more of that character. Because in the movie the ties are pretty much more black. So I'm trying to get some brown but more of the black in there. There it is. There's the color. And again, we're going over this. And we're still going to use powders and all that too. I'm also part of the live chats on Thursdays with the Model Railroading Live crew. Today is Wednesday. I know around 8 o'clock who Big Bill, who's one of the guys who does some interviews with some modelers, who's Big Bill talking to. He does a lot of he does a Wednesday night show at 8 o'clock, so you want to check him out. I think it's JC Weathering. He does some nice videos as well for weathering and all that too. He has a great channel. So basically we got this right here. All right. Now here's a cool little trick, and I've always been careful with it because we have to be. Is using a blow dryer, and I usually have it on low settings. There we go. All right. So there's that. Now, we got powders. I have different brushes for that too. All the brushes usually I use for powders, and the fine brushes I use for painting. So like this sucker right here, yay, look at that. That's scary looking. But it's good for weathering and powder work. And then we could use some of that brown. Okay, you only want some rails some of the ties having it. Just here's some rust. I go for the overall effect. I mean, you can do individual ties. I mean, my gosh, there's some guys out there do fantastic work doing that, and it's unbelievable to me. But take that black. Ooh, take some of that black above it, you know, and then it gives you that little bit of that look. Okay, pretty much it, you know. This is pretty much dry. And so we will take all these pins out. And whoop, there's that. We want this paint really going everywhere, so we're gonna. Actually, we could use it because I would like to line out where my road's going to be, which is right over here. It's gonna be, I think it's a dirt. No, it's a really light concrete road. So the road's probably going to go out to here. And out to this way. Trying to, especially with nowadays, with everything's going on, trying not to waste as much paint and stuff. So that's going to be that here. And unfortunately, I just realized I don't have any holes in this track, so I might have to glue it down. So we're going to glue it down. Okay. Take some Elmer's glue. Probably way too much. Let's just go get all the cracks. Really get it in there. And that's that. And then we do this. Okay. Then lay that in there. Okay. Get something heavy on it. They'll do that. Gotta find other things that are heavy. It's pretty darn heavy too. That'll work. And we're gonna find something else, and that'll work too. All right, move the camera back a little bit. We're gonna check here what time is. 89% of battery. Sweet. All right. Okay. Now we're gonna move up a little more. But I see my gut. Cool. And so, let's see here. Just try and clean up a little bit. So we have other techniques you can use for ballast, and since I really don't have any ballast and don't need to really spend money on ballast, there's always kitty litter if you have it around. You can even, for diorama purposes, I'm not sure for layouts, but also you can definitely use sawdust and dilute some gray paint and mix it together and use that. I don't think it would look as great as realistically, but there's so much things you could find on the side of the road. Constantly sift little thing of what do you call it? You could definitely sift some rocks off the side of a road, and have a sifter or strainer, whatever you have, and definitely sift out all the different sizes, and that could be a ballast as well, which I'm planning on doing for sure. so because there's no need, why go out and yes, I love Woodland Scenics. I definitely probably would use I would definitely use ballast from Woodland Scenics or Scenic Express, from these weathering suppliers. for a layout for sure. And what do you call it? Yeah, medium ballast. Medium ballast is some good stuff. That's what I use. Medium ballast is a good stuff. Even fine ballast is really good for gravel, parking lots, anything gravel. Maybe for older track, like a spur track or a rail yard, you know, and even like mixed up ballast, like leftover from whatever. That looks great um, for rail yards and spurs and abandoned tracks and maybe a gravel parking lot or gravel road. And for here, we'll probably just use whatever I can around the house, and that's the whole goal of building these dioramas, is to look for stuff that's around the house. Unfortunately, can't build a locomotive from stuff outside, or a car, so or a vehicle, you know, maybe people. I don't know. Stick figures will work, you know. So, but the next step eventually will be to cut this car and place it on the side of the road here. I'm trying to see what else here we got. That since I want to do at least an hour, about an hour a day, or an hour a week on this project. I'm trying to look here. What we got? What we got? Let's see here. Because there's all different things we can do, and eventually, let's see here. I can move these out of the way. I think I may want to pick that up. Let's see what I'm looking at here. Although I lost my train of thought, what I was going to do. I wanted to show the diorama, but I have to take this off and then bring that one over here. But what we'll do is for the next live show, we'll work on that diorama. I already did the carving on it. I could show a carving tutorial for next week, and that would give a nice lesson on carving rocks, and we could do it live, and you know, you can see the process of how I do rock building, rock making, and carving. And let's see here. So the ballast is fairly easy to find, and the ballast is especially if you go to like a little amount of rocks on the side of a road, you can have probably 4 or 5 different sizes of rocks that you can use, and all different colors, and you can use them for scenery work, for ballasting, for making roads, and you could even use it. Let's see, I'm trying to think of coal, either coal loads or just debris. There's so many things you can do. Another thing you could probably do too is if you have sifted rock, probably mix a bunch of colors together, not paint individual ones, but switch them in maybe one color and let them, and take some out, switch another color, take some out, and then you have different colored rocks, and then you could put them all, sprinkle really tiny, really fine rocks, and sprinkle them all over the track, and it looks like debris and garbage. That's another idea too. So there's so many different things you can do, and all you have to do is look right outside your back door or your front door, or go down the stairs out of your apartment and look around the streets. And with everything going on, just be aware and self-sterilize and wash your hands. You know, especially with stuff going on now. You know, because this thing does, you know, does stick to the ground and everything else. So when you're wash everything with soap and water first and foremost. You're supposed to do that anyway, and then you know, obviously wash your hands, do everything you're supposed to do to stay healthy, and then work on your choo-choo trains. You know, that's what we got. Yeah, exactly. ST70 Ace Fan NS use ballast as limestone loads. Absolutely, you can do that, and you don't have to go to the store. And again, I support. And I, for years, even till up to this day, I still buy stuff from Woodland Scenic Express. There's some stuff you just cannot look outside your doorway and go, I can use that. You may have to actually buy something. Another thing we'll do is show how to make trees, and from natural materials. Very, very simple. Again, a lot of stuff is very hard to come by outside, so you may have to purchase some things that look like foliage. stuff like that. But we'll look how to do the best we can on what we can do in the time being, when you're working on your layout and you're on a budget. So that's really what we're going at for these kind of dioramas. Again, I can't find track outside. I have to buy it. But all the other material pretty much found that was left lying around, and you use all different kinds of things. Let's see, how's the track looking? Track is almost there, actually. It's doing pretty good, except for that falling. We don't want that falling. Actually, we'll switch it over to here. That'll work. I'm trying to think. Let's see what else I have that I can show you guys here. I know I have some stuff that I weathered in the process of making, actually. I'm in the process of doing this old Conroe caboose. It's based off a caboose in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, on the CSX. It is a maintenance of way caboose, also used as a shoving platform. So that's something else I'm building. I'll probably do some tutorials on creating rust streaks, and let's see, what else? Making a rusted rooftop, or there's so many different techniques and so many things we can do. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's see here. Try to find what else I have around here. I thought I had something over here to show you guys. Oh, we're gonna definitely do one on weathering this vehicle, this construction vehicle. SC70 Ace. Hey, Cal fans, what's going on, brother? Burn marks on a GE C44W. That's not a bad idea, because I so happen to have a Genesis AC44 UP. So you talk about like a toaster engine. We could definitely do a tutorial on that. Toaster Dash 9 again. I wish I had more Dash 9s. Those Dash 9s were from a client of mine, and I finished all those engines, and the stuff I weather is not my collection. Those are my clients, and because I do have a business, so a touch the brush obviously is the business. Man, I loved those scale train engines. Those were so much fun to do. Hey, Cal Railfan, man, if you sell me one, send me one. We could do a live. We're going to do a live video on toasting the engine. I'll just make sure it won't cuss too much. That's all. And we'll do it right here. I may do some. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do that. Thinking of Scale Trains Dash 9, man, those Dash 9s are absolutely stunning. They're gorgeous, and I absolutely love them. I wish I had the funds to actually purchase one. I was really, really very happy that Scale Trains featured that video that I did. That was really, really nice of them. And Shane and Dwight, you guys are amazing. You guys are great guys. Talked to Dwight a little bit. He's a really cool guy. He's really nice. Yeah, we said Dash 9 or a Tier 4. I did weather a Tier 4 UP engine. My gosh, that's such a beautiful sharp paint scheme. The detail is, oh my gosh, the detail's memorizing just looking at it. And I say, let's say a Tier 4 Scale Trains Dash 9. Man, that's a tough choice. I like the Tier 4s because of the was it the raised like radiator, or I'm not so technical like I used to be. I don't remember half this stuff anymore, but that's what I like it. Yeah, I could do that too. Put burn marks on an engine. If you guys really, really, really want work done, we can call it. Definitely, you can private message me or email me on TOTB modelweathering@yahoo.com is my email. I'll actually put it in. I'll put it in the I'll put it in the chat here, and we can discuss what all that. So I just put in. I accept PayPal. That's how I do PayPal, and PayPal for me is the easiest way to go, especially what's going on right now. I don't have a bank within 2 hours of me. I don't like people mailing checks or money orders. Well, God forbid something really gets lost in the mail. I know you cancel checks and stuff like that. But in case something happens, I think it's better safe than sorry. I always like the PayPal accounts. So I do have PayPal, and we'll discuss how I will go about with payments on that. But yeah, I mean, I will, obviously, I will, like everybody, would love to continue working, and I did I was furloughed from the railroad just because of what's going on right now. So I'm trying to do my best with the side business as much as possible. So as long as everybody still wants work done with their locomotives and cars, I'm still willing to go out and still work with the business. And we can definitely do live videos on a client's locomotive. So if anybody here, like an Cal Rail fan mentioned, about what you call weathering a locomotive for him, I can definitely do that, and we could do it live right here on the workbench, and definitely we call it yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to actually do something live for a client, and instead of like editing a video, we'll do it just live right in front of everybody. So that'd be pretty cool. We'll definitely do that. And yeah, maybe I'll do a burnt marks on this engine. We'll show how to do some burnt marks on that locomotive. Let's see what else I got here. So I got so many. Started painting another engine, but that was an old project of mine. Let's see here. Trying to find what I have that's weathered that isn't weathered. Yeah, bud, you could definitely do a box car. Send you a box car. Yeah, you could definitely do that. That works. TDX IQ, man, I have a bunch of those. Where the heck are they? I do have. Oh, I think the box is here. See, now we're just hanging out. I don't mind doing this stuff either. If you just want to hang out. Let's see. No, that's not it either. I did do one of those box cars, and I don't know where the heck I have a box full. Oh, it's way buried back there. I'm not gonna do that now. Maybe for the next video. If you check out my Instagram, I do have a high cube card that I have weathered. Let's see here. What about Pennsylvania Power and Light coal cars? If you talk about weathering, yeah, you can weather those as well. One of my first business projects was actually weathering 40 Pennsylvania Railroad coal cars for a client. That was my very first client. Actually, the same client had Pennsylvania Railroad. He's the one that has all the scale train GEVOs, and he switched from collecting Pennsylvania Railroad to BNSF. So that was really cool to do. TTX IQ. Man, I do have I thought I had a car right here, but I don't, unfortunately. It's something I really have to purchase. I think I have to get a new airbrush because the other one collapsed on me. So I've been doing more stuff by hand than anything else, as far as weathering is concerned. Let's see. The older cars are here. I'm not going to get it out right now. But yeah, it was a good time doing the weathering for those locomotives for Shane and the scale trains. Trying to see what else I have here. Let's see. Aha, much better. So this was my first locomotive I ever purchased that has sound and DCC. I finally got around to weathering it. It is on Instagram as well. U25B by Bowser. And it has H and E on the side because that was the original railroad I was modeling, which is the Hudson in New England. This was all done with paints and powders. It's actually one of my favorite models I've done. So we'll definitely show how to do rooftops and rush streaks. I'll show you another engine that I have, which let's see here. Yeah, man, Bowser Trains, man, they make some great models. Williamsport is a good place to rail fan too. Around that area. Maybe I'm thinking of somewhere else. Let's see here. This is the Proto 2000 with sound and DCC. And there's something else I'd weathered. See here. SD45 Santa Fe. Yep, SC45. I'm actually selling this off. So, interested in purchasing the locomotive, I am definitely willing to sell it. Like I said, I am downsizing and modeling a whole different road and totally different kind of locomotive. So, it's not really needed. Cal Rail fan, email me. We'll discuss the price. All right, brother? The Cato SC45s are so really, they're great runners. And actually, a lot of people don't know that these old Atlas made in Japan, these have Cato motors in them and drive chains. And this little guy right here, I got it for like 40 bucks on eBay, but now they're going for close to 100 because the locomotives run fantastic because they are Cato motors, and I love Cato. I do have a Conrad SC80 Mac coming that is at a buddy of mine who does DCC work. He is converting that locomotive for me. It's a Cato model. I do have a couple of Cato locomotives that I need to start weathering for me. I like Cato as well. Yeah, road switches. That's what I'm going to be modeling basically. I have a GP15, GP38-2. I'm trying to think of what else I have as road switchers. The plan is also to eventually purchase a GP18 as well. Those are great locomotives. Stronger scale train to Cato. The tooling, I'm not really sure. I know Cato and Atlas are the smoothest runners, and with the experience of a lot of my friends running their scale train locomotives, they are really good pullers. I want to say it's almost 50-50 for Cato and scale trains because of the the motors themselves. They're very, very nice. And also depends on the model itself. And I mean, well, the locomotive model, not the manufacturer. So a U25B from Bowser, won't pull as many cars as a GP38-2, either from Atlas or Athearn. Um, it's just because the locomotives are just smaller. So and it just really depends. If you look at James Wright, everybody knows James Wright. He has a lot of reviews on YouTube, and he does check the polling weight and capacity. I forgot what it's called, but the how much the locomotive can pull, and definitely you can definitely check out those videos, and you can really tell how much those engines can pull. And some of them are just extraordinary. You would never guess a little Bachmann can pull maybe 40 freight cars by itself, and you realize, maybe scale trains SC40-2 can only pull 20. So it just depends. It also depends how many grades you have on your layout. It depends on your track work and how long your trains are. So I guess that's my 2 cents of what pulls more, and I hope I answered that question, because Kato scale trains are excellent manufacturers when it comes to locomotives, and if you model N scale, Kato makes some fantastic stuff too. So I really recommend that. So trying to see what else here I have. So like for instance, this is an Athearn blue box that's being converted. I'm not converting it, but the gentleman is. So I had to do a lot of detail work with detail parts on this one. It took a long time. Let's see. Should you keep flashing ditch lights on the BNSF-9? No, because BNSF doesn't flash ditch lights on a prototype at all. And that's if you look at a lot of BNSF videos, if you if you look at BNSF, none of ditch lights flash, nor does Union Pacific, and I don't think Kansas City Southern does either. I think it's mostly the northeast roads like CSX and NS. Trying to think of. I know most commuter rail they flash their lights. Yes, they do. Let's look over here. Here's another project I've been working on. I may still do an update, a monthly update video, but we'll see. Yeah, usually ditch lights is a very easy program fix when you can do that. Now this is a seaboard system. I think a GP40 or a GP38. I forget what it is. But this was undecorated, and I painted it and decaled it and weathered it for the prototype. And a lot of my clients, when they give me something to go by, I know they either give me a picture of something that looks close to the prototype or close to the model. This gentleman he says he's a rivet counter. So he's very particular at what his locomotive wants to look like. But that is the prototype. And it gives me everything he needs on it. So we need CSX on top of the road number, which I have done. And the speed recorder, which is on here as well. Obviously add the KD couplers, add all the MU cables on the front end. It's probably hard to see that, but it's right there. There it is. And this was really interesting, and he said, I want the seaboard coastline letters that are sort of hidden in the paint, just right here. See the letter E right there? So I actually made that as well. There's the letter E right there. Um, and so like with the CSX engine, the same thing. So he gave me everything he wanted, all the decals that had to go on. He gave me all the detail parts that had to go on the CSX engine. So I have a lot of clients who they will give me something exactly what they want, or they'll email me a picture or send me a picture through Facebook, or say, hey, can you do this? Yeah, I can. so that's we do that as well. Or sometimes I'll have a couple of locomotives someone will give me, say, hey, just weather them, do what you want. And it's like, well, okay, what do I do now? How do I weather this? So I will research, either Google images or YouTube videos, take screenshots. I even have like 50 DVDs of train videos, and I would watch them, fast forward them, and look at a particular locomotive and go, hey, that's what it looks like. Especially if you're doing fallen flags. For instance, I couldn't find a decent picture on a Pennsylvania railroad coal hopper. And so I found a few videos from All Aboard series on the Pennsylvania Railroad, some documentaries I even have from bygone days that were still colored, but they're from the 50s and 60s. And I'm sorry, the 40s and 50s. And so I took screenshots, or took a picture of, some screenshots, and used those screenshots to paint like the prototype, and weather like the prototype. So it's not, so when it comes to paying, you're not just paying for the service of actually weathering and painting. I'm also researching on the side too, unless you make it nice and easy for me to do. This was really cool. But I like doing the research. I enjoy doing the research. It's not like a lot of people will find it a chore, but again, when it comes to being paid, it's not just weathering and painting. I'm also doing the research. It's time consuming, and so like I said, a lot of clients will give me some stuff like this, which is a lot of prototype photos. And if not, then sometimes we're researching together, which is fun because you form a great relationship, and sometimes a friendship with the client. I have a couple of clients that didn't know me from Adam. We're best buddies now, so they will actually hang out railfan. So sometimes that happens. That's why I enjoy doing live videos, because I get to chit chat with people right here and become friends with everybody right here. And so we do the research together, and it becomes fun. And then and then the client becomes more excited because they are, they're like, oh, the locomotive's gonna look just like this one that I just saw and I just researched. And that's why I fell in love with the Missouri Pacific in the last 3 weeks, because I've been researching on how to modify this locomotive from the movie, and then looked up and did so much research on locomotives from the Missouri Pacific, and I just fell in love with the Missouri Pacific. Let's see what else I got here. Yeah, Cal Rel fan. You can send me your -9, and we can do it live. We can definitely do it live, and you can tell me what you want to do. Email me, and we'll do different contacts from there. We can figure out some easier ways to communicate than just doing a live video. But there's Facebook. There's I don't really do messaging on Twitter. Instagram I do, but Facebook is a little easier. Messenger is a lot easier, and obviously email. And I am live. Yeah, I just started this. I'm going to be live probably on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock. Unless the railroad needs me to work from home, then we'll discuss something. I will definitely on a Monday, probably Sunday, I will notify everybody when I'm going to go live, either on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. I'll put it into the community section of my channel. It shows where I'll be going live. So probably every Sunday, I'll see what's going on. And I'll probably do 3 o'clock Central Time, since it is the center of the day, and right now, since just about almost everybody is home, um, it's good for that, for what's going on in the way. Since everybody's home, we could do stuff live, and obviously when it is all said and done, it's recorded and people could re-watch the videos of what we have done together. And but I like doing, I think Wednesdays, because it's hump day, it's the middle of the week, it's not the weekend. 3 o'clock's not a bad time because it's 4 o'clock Central Time, noon on the Pacific Coast, I believe. Well, 1 o'clock on the Pacific Coast, so it's kind of middle of the day. And plus, where I live here in Arkansas, it's very hot during the day. So if I'm doing any yard work or any outdoor work, it's very early in the morning, and towards the late afternoon, early evening to dusk. So during that time, of not working, I could do a live video. So it'll be good to do that as well. So we are at 4:02 p.m. my time. I really appreciate everybody hanging out here. For the folks that are here, thank you for joining, and I really appreciate the support. And I hope everybody stays safe and healthy. God bless everybody. We will see you soon. Joe G with Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. You guys take care. And it's what, 2:02 your time? Yeah. Yeah, because you're in California. I miss California. I hope you guys are safe there. Anyway, guys, take care. Thanks, brother. And thank you, everybody, for coming out. We will keep in touch, and check me out on Instagram, TOTB Model Weathering. I do post pretty much every day, if not every other day. David's hobbies and things. Man, it's good seeing you too, man. It's been a while. You have some great videos, brother. And let's say Instagram, obviously Facebook. I share a lot of stuff on Facebook, and Joseph Gentil's my full name on Facebook. So I usually post on from my private Facebook page on all the groups, but I do put my Touch of the Brush link in the post, so everybody knows that it's Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. Also, I'm also on Twitter, and as well as obviously here on YouTube. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, and I'm also part of Model Railroading Live. I usually on the chat on Johnny's Train Talk on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll just sit and talk model railroading and rail fanning. And what's cool about that show is that I am friends and fellow colleagues of some of the best model railroaders out here in the country. We have everybody from Andy Crawford, who has a live build show with Lloyd, who's has a phenomenal layout. The Month Father, which is Ralph Renzetti, he's a great weatherer and structure builder and painter and everything you can think of. He's actually my mentor and helped me boost my business, believe it or not. And Ralph is a great gentleman. He's on there with us as well. We will have some guest appearances from Gino's Trains and the Bob, and check out their sites as well. Martin Jenkins from Australia, he's usually on, as well as sometime Ron Marsh will come on from Ron's Trains and Things. That's really cool. He's a great guy. Definitely check out that on Thursday nights on 8 o'clock Central Time. And in the meantime, on during the week, most likely probably Wednesdays at 3 o'clock Central Time, I'll go live and we'll do some fun model railroading tips and techniques and how-tos, and maybe we'll just sit and chat and talk about rail fanning and trains in general. So you guys take care. You guys have a great week. And I know Easter is coming this week, and everybody have a happy Easter and happy Passover to everybody as well. You guys take care and have a great week. And I need to get on me.
Wait a minute. I'll be right back.